It is the race that will complete round-robin phase number 2, race 3, American Magic, and the challenger of record, Rossa, Prada Pirelli. And that's a situation where American Magic fans don't want to see it. I don't know we're well away from the start of this race, but that's not what they want to be. They don't want to be becalmed. I actually want to go down to Shirley Robertson in our chase boat because Shirley, really late change on the jib for American Magic. What did you make of that?
Well, we just watched that feature on the Weatherman about the meteorologist that the teams have. You know, it's a big decision, but they're getting data from probably the other side of the North Island. They know what's coming, and they're leaving that decision as late as possible. This is a big race for this team, Stephen, where, you know, the last race was a real vindication for a lot of the decision making on the British boat. I mean, the fact that they decided to design the whole drivetrain to free up their talent. On this boat, they've done the opposite. I mean, I'm really hoping that they come out and show the talent that they've got, that we hear good communications, good tactical decisions. But this race course is difficult, we've seen that, and it's about joining the dots, it's about sailing well, it's about getting your head out of the boat.
Thank you, Shirley. Well, here we go. Kenny, American Magic, they are a team under pressure. There is no denying that. What do you want to see today from this boat?
I want to see a good start, first of all. Good start. Just strong decision-making by Dean Barker in the start. He has struggled to get off the starting line, albeit it's been, you know, light, weird conditions, but timing hasn't been perfect at times. Let's see a good start and then let the boat do its thing. On the other hand, Nathan, you know, Rossa, we make a lot of, hey, the physical part of they just sailed, but now they know the race course right now, right? They know the race course better than anybody. They just went around it, so they should have a pretty good idea of what they're looking for to try to stay in phase of the wind shift.
I'd almost think they've got the advantage. They've done 1.5 races, and they know where the shifts are, whereas American Magic, well, they've just been watching. They've just been, you know, hoping that they can work it out. But I think there's a bit of an issue with Rossa. I think they're having some software issues right now. I've been hearing them trying to communicate with the race committee.
You heard Jimmy Spittle a moment ago saying, where is the race start? 2 minutes and 19 seconds in counting. It'll be American Magic with port entry, Rossa with starboard entry. American Magic allowed to enter at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and 2 minutes, of course, for Rossa.
Both boats are way out of position right now, aren't they?
He's late, right?
Wow. We really wanted Dean Barker to be on time on this when he's anything but on time. Over 20 seconds late, but the amazing thing is, well, yeah, Rossa, we're going to see a dial-up. We could see an easy starboard tack, the boat on the right-hand side on starboard tack.
Coming.
Oh, tripping over themselves.
Ready, flag. Flag.
Oh.
Down.
Down.
Coming back up, coming up.
By the Italians. We're going to see the Americans in trouble here right now, is my guess.
But Rossa off the foil.
Big trouble,
take off. Forget about him. We just take off.
Again, please. Yeah, take it. Crossing.
Big easy.
Another bad pre-start entry by American Magic. 3 in a row now.
Both boats are off the foils.
Yep.
Stand by. Bearing away. Boards down.
Who can get up on the foils first? And there's plenty of breeze out there, and Rossa already is.
Tack on ley line, probably Keko.
Something's going on that American boat to have them so out of sync coming in, and no power. So they must have deemed that Rossa was moving and didn't give the other guys the opportunity to stay clear, but I'm shocked at that.
Well, now that both boats are up on foil,
Just trim up and tack.
even still, you know, American Magic are up high, they're going to jibe into position. Prada are going to be tacking into position. It's all about time on distance for both boats here.
Time on distance, if the Italians do this right, they should have the advantage.
Tacking.
20 seconds to go to race start of race 3 and round robin 2. Messy all over the place at the beginning of this pre-start, but now it is race start. 10 seconds and counting.
Okay, bearing away a little. Full speed, go. Go, go.
Clear start.
You heard Jimmy Spittle say it. Full speed, go, 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 and we are underway. The final race in round robin phase 2. This is race number 3. We're on board American Magic, trailing Luna Rossa out of the gate.
Yeah, well, once again, American Magic, just bad setup for these entries. It's the 3rd time in a row that they've fallen off the foils in the pre-starting.
The lull in the middle,
Yeah, you can't
nice
be
streak coming
happy
down
with
the
that,
right
can you?
side. There's also one on the bow in about 40.
Little drag race, American Magic hanging in there in a really vulnerable spot, but eventually Prada has the ability to attack. They're going to go into this zone, and the Americans have to give them the opportunity, but
Looks like he tacked early. Tacked early ahead of the boundary, with confidence that they were going to make that cross.
One more down. And turning.
races are showing to be more interesting by the moment. They're fooling us both here, Nathan.
Fooling each other as well while they're at it.
Why would the Prada boat have tacked early there? I don't quite understand.
Okay, I've got a theory. Maybe they're still struggling with software. That's all I can say right now. I did hear them chatting before the start that maybe they're not confident in their boundary software and they're trying to do it off the lights as opposed to software on the boat. That's my only thing I can think of. Shirley, you're on the water. How does it look from your perspective at the moment?
Yeah, I think you must be right, Nathan, because we're on the left-hand side of the course. It's a massive, big, black crowd. There's lots of wind. The wind has gone left also. It's almost like a sign on the water, you know, go left. So I'm sure they must have some sort of issue.
So, Shirley, they've given up this left-hand side of the track and effectively given the strong side to their competitor. It looks like American Magic have taken the lead. You can see in this picture overhead, dark water, both boats are in it, but Luna Rossa are about to sail out of it. You know, it's lighter at the top of our screen. And breeze is up, you know, we're reading, what, 16, 18 knots on the boats here right now, so it's definitely windier than the race we had before.
Nathan, this is more wind than we've seen for a long time, and it's really dark over the land. I think maybe even more wind to come from that left-hand side.
5, 3,
Tight cross coming here.
4 down and turning.
No, dropping off.
That's a beautiful lee bow, isn't it?
Highway copy.
Hopefully we're going to be able to go to a 3D shot at some stage here and take a look at it. Again, I think they tacked early on the boundary. But man, oh man, American Magic just put themselves in a dominant position. Don't get too slow if you're Dean Barker, but you like the control of the situation right now, that's for sure.
Standing by, Goody. Standing by. Crossing.
Oh, I love coming in big left.
One more down.
It's quite aggressive by Jimmy Spittle there, and I think it backfired on him.
I'll stay here, Goody. Turning down at 5, 4, 3, 2.
Protest by the Italians for a left. This ought to be interesting.
Top gate for the first time, and it's American Magic around the mark first, followed closely by Luna Rossa, 6 seconds behind.
Straight into a jibe out of that top mark for Luna Rossa and Prada Pirelli, so already trying to get over to that favoured side that Shirley spotted. Shirley, is that pressure still over there?
Yeah, an increase in pressure and also long on this jibe. So absolutely, tactically, the right thing to do was early jibe.
Wrong. Settle the butt down, boys.
No penalty on the luff. They took a long time to talk about that one, though, didn't they, Nathan?
So explain the penalty on the no penalty on the luff.
Jimmy Spittle, like Nathan called, did a very aggressive maneuver. They were the lured boat there, the boat downwind from American Magic. Maybe we can see it on a replay in a second here, but they did a quick aggressive maneuver. This is after that luff, but they did a quick aggressive maneuver and pushed their button. said to the jury, hey, we think they fouled us. I don't think they did. I think they were plenty clear, but may as well go for it. It was aggressive, though.
Oh, if you don't want aggressive, it's going to come from Jimmy Spittle. No denying that.
So the early jibe doesn't look like it paid off. It looks like, if anything, they've lost a little bit of distance. And let's just go back and have a look at the replay once again of this luff that happened on the first beat. So Jimmy Spittle to Leeward here.
To the right.
He has the right of way, and he's going to come up quite aggressively here in a second. Here he goes. He starts coming up, trying to luff Dean Barker. Boats don't get close enough. I'm thinking that's why the green flag came eventually, but that little luffy, you see him coming up. Listen on board. I don't know. I think he was clutching at straws there, to be honest.
That's called a Hollywood. That means you're kind of acting into that one, and you're hoping to fool somebody. We didn't get fooled. That's for sure. The jury, Richard Slater and his team clearly made the right decision there.
Look at that rain on the onboard shot. There's plenty of rain coming across, of course. Shirley, we're going to get wet out there soon.
We're getting wet. I can confirm we're getting wet. And the wind's gone more to the left, so it's been really hard for American Magic to get back over. I'm just watching them jibe now. They made a good gain. I mean, they have been fast on this downwind leg.
Probably JK. Going to be a
like
JK up there.
We getting wet.
We're a team.
2, 1. Here we go.
Bottom gate for the first time, and American Magic in conditions that are challenging everyone. Getting around it. It was 6 seconds at the top gate.
Golden speed here for the tack, 20 to boundary.
And 13 seconds at the bottom, so they've made a wee gain.
1, board down. Good pressure on the way out. And turning.
Both boats rolling straight into attack out of the bottom arc. Dean Barker here, along with tactician Terry Hutchinson, will be not letting them get a sniff into this race. But having said that, bit of leverage out to the right-hand side for Luna Rossa. Any right-hand shift now is a gain for Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and they could be back in this one in a jiffy.
Surely it's from our vantage point, though, all kidding aside, it looks squally out there. Little rain squalls, big wind shifts. Is there anything that's predictable at this stage?
Well, it's rain. The left-hand side of the course, it's raining and it's dark and it's windy and it's sunny on the right-hand side. Got lots of weather here in New Zealand. I can confirm that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think you would protect the left-hand side where the rain is, but we'll see how it rolls.
Much better mode for us there.
Tactician Terry Hutchinson also in his grinding duties. There's been plenty of that has been made of this.
If he tacks here, Terry, do we lead him back to the left?
There's Dean Barker asking him his
They
decision.
are strong, getting stronger left.
Where do they want to go on the race course?
Big left shift at the moment. Yeah. Good that.
Much better both speed mode.
He's struggling with his comms, I think. Dean keeps asking him questions. I didn't see Terry's lips moving there, so it's like he doesn't hear him.
Either he doesn't hear him or he's thinking hard about it. Took his sunnies off, he's trying to get a better look.
Yeah, I think this is comms are out and
We
we're
are
not
bound
hearing
forward
them
now,
probably.
so I'm happy where we are.
Yeah, he's boundary light on, standing by, Goody.
Luna Rossa very close to that boundary on that far side.
You go with the
Boundary penalty Italy. Boundary penalty Italy.
There you go, out of bounds. That's going to be expensive. That's not what you need when you're behind.
It's going to be fascinating to find out after this race is over whether their comms
Italy, you have about 1 boat length to go.
are working. We've seen a couple shaky situations where including the very first tack of the race,
Penalty
where
clear.
Luna Rossa tacked in kind of a weird spot, and it almost kind of looks like you called, Nathan, that they don't know exactly where the boundary is on that onboard computer.
Well, it definitely looked like on that first tack that they tacked too early, and they really sort of handed the advantage of that left-hand side of the course to American Magic. You see in the background here, American Magic steaming out to the left-hand side of the track, over to that pressure and to the good, strong pressure on the left-hand side of the course.
You think about attacking around as
Ripping
well.
upwind at the moment.
Okay, standing by here. We're getting close to the boundary. Yeah, crossing. Yeah, copy. 2, 1, more down. Turning. Really nice pressure down. Very easy enough this hole.
Heading towards the halfway point in this third race, the final race in round robin 2 between American Magic, desperate for their first win of the Prada Cup against Luna Rossa, who have one in the bag, were hoping today to pick up another 2, but beaten by Ineos in the earlier race.
Copy that.
But I've got to say one thing, these crews are working hard.
Super hard. And that left side of the race course, like Shirley called, clearly dominant. Follow the rain squall when in doubt, and that's apparently what these guys have done and developed a nice little lead.
Pace it up.
Pacing it up, copy. Little ease on the jet, please.
Keep coming down. Rounding in 3, 2, 1.
American Magic at the top gate for the second time. They led by 13 seconds at the bottom. Have Luna Rossa made any gains on the upwind leg?
Touched 48 knots going around that corner. Nearly 60 miles an hour.
I think Chicago, he looks like he's going light over there.
Yes.
No gains. The deficit increases for Luna Rossa to 27 seconds, losing 14 seconds on the upwind leg.
That was all that left-hand side. Dean Barker, Terry Hutchinson just protecting that side. They went around the bottom arc, went further, got onto the boundary, and every time Jimmy and Bruni tried to get back out to the left, they just face them, just send them back to the wrong side. And if you keep sailing like that, you're not going to let them have a sniff.
Front lock around here.
At some stage, we're going to have to ask Jimmy Spithill why they call that maneuver when they go around the mark, put both boards down and roll into a jibe. Why is it called a Chicago?
We definitely need to find out the reason behind that.
Shirley on the water. American Magic looks strong today.
They do, Stephen, and I'm curious to see the analysis, the stats when the race is over, because to me it looks like they've got wheels, they've got a little bit of extra, both upwind and downwind, and when they get free from the other boat, they do seem to be descending.
Currently rocking at around 42, 43 knots. They, as Nathan say, are steaming on this race course. I like to call it honking down the course. They're honking.
You could use lots of different words for going fast, couldn't you? But let's put it this way. Those small foils that were their Achilles heel yesterday are coming into their own today. And the breeze is 15, 16 knots, gusting a little bit more than that. And this is when that team knows they're going to be fast. Everyone knows that they're a quick team here. And they're making the most of it, aren't they?
Saw a big dark cloud over Dean Barker's right shoulder. They're still going to be looking at that left side of the race course.
Very, very light beyond Ian. Yeah, I don't think we go too far here. No, definitely not. Just going to have to watch him out of the tack. Probably turning up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
American Magic around the bottom gate. It was 27 seconds at the top gate. What will the gap to Luna Rossa be here?
Okay, standing by. Crossing. Copy.
Well, I suspect it's going to grow because American Magic did that downwind in one jibe. They went boundary, jibe, laid in, and Luna Rossa are going to have to do it in 3 jibes. So each maneuver is going to cost you time around the racetrack.
And that big left-hand shift, it's almost a fetch at this stage. It's not quite a fetch, but that big left-hand shift has certainly made this a one-sided racetrack.
Very much a follow-the-leader course, isn't it?
Two board round up this one. Yes, we don't have 1, 3, 2, 1. One. Hey, turning up.
Rossa 42 seconds behind at the fourth gate. You heard Jimmy Spiller go, oh, and I think for a moment there, you saw how close the were to that marker. Went, oh, hang on a minute.
They were close. The outside wing of that fin, that starboard side fin was close. These guys have, a bunch of times they've seemed almost skittish in this race. We were talking about how smooth they were in the first race in the breeze. It's flatter water. They should be even smoother, you would think, but every once in a while they look like they're kind of tripping, like almost skittish on the water. I wonder if they do have an internal problem.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's not the same boat that we saw in the first race that got abandoned. It's definitely not the same boat that we saw in the race earlier today. And a bit of head scratching going on in that program right now, I would imagine. Shirley, you're on the water. You're following them around closely. Can you verify that Luna Rossa are struggling more than what they were in the previous race?
What do we think here?
Yeah, I mean, the boat just feels really, it looks really unsettled, and we haven't seen that earlier in the day. We're right beside American Magic at the moment, protecting that left-hand side. It's raining on the beaches of the North Shore, and so they're about to come into rain and more wind, and doing exactly the right thing, protecting the left-hand side of this last upwind leg.
2, 1 board down.
Shirley, I hate to ask the obvious question. Is there any chance that this weather is going to prevent this race from finishing? Is there any erratic weather that's going to make a chance for Luna Rossa to get back into it?
Because I'm an expert meteorologist.
I'm just putting you on the spot. You're our eyes on the water. Any chance? We're clinging at straws here to get Luna Rossa back into this race.
We're hard left in the camera boat now, and it's really quite strong, and it is further left. But I don't think it's anything like we saw earlier in the day. But expect a big change particularly on the downwind leg.
So Shirley was calling rain on the North Shore, but you look at the fans watching this on the big screens in the America's Cup Village. Well, actually, in come the raincoats, but they're loving it. American Magic looking hopefully for their first win. There are some Magic fans in the house. Yeah, we love it too. Don't you worry about that. Stay dry, though. Heading towards the top gate for the last time. 35 knots, American Magic. This will be a huge weight off the shoulders if they continue on and win this race.
Well, tactically, they're sailing well today as well. A lot is being made of Terry's position on the boat and his position, and not only as a tactician but as a grinder. But unfortunately, we can't hear him because his comms are down. But we've heard a lot from Paul Goodison, a lot from Andrew Campbell.
Sorry, just to interrupt, the elevated voices here. Hard bearaway coming up.
2, 1 board down.
American Magic flying into that gate for the final time. And they were phenomenal.
Squall here.
Whoa, hang on. American Magic.
And they are over. You can hear the elevated voices going into that one.
No rush.
Wow.
Stand by tack. Stand by tack.
Go tack.
2. 1 more down.
Trying to get some comms to see everyone's okay on board. Luna Rossa taking it easy here at the moment as well. Big puff must have come across the
So we have to
course.
fill and then bear away.
Jimmy, the race is abandoned when one boat capsizes. The point
Let's
is
keep sailing, though. Let's keep
we keep
sailing,
sailing. Yes.
Stand by, bear away.
Yeah, easy mission. Easy bear away.
Okay,
You
speed.
can always drop the board after, so be generous on
bear
that.
away. 3, 2, 1, bearing away. Easy, Jim.
Go traveler.
Can we get anything else on this day?
Forward.
Stay up.
No problem. No rush.
Chase boats now getting to the attention of the American Magic crew.
Okay, so unlock her in.
Station up.
Okay, that's angle.
Okay.
Any idea what the boundary is?
I can't get it.
Should be fine, right? At this
Very
speed.
traveler. You mentioned easy traveler, Jimmy.
Yeah, copy.
Easy traveler.
What?
Well, that was a big capsize, wasn't it, boys?
You could see the
Jamie,
foam off
speak
the
about
water,
the
so
reason,
it's like,
it's okay.
uh-oh, big squall, big squall. They felt it coming. That's why they tacked around that mark to try to tack around.
That's nice. Nice, because it's all good. We can stay there.
So Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will
You
continue
think the
on.
finish is up or down from here?
We counted all 11 people in the when we had a vision of the boat, so it looked like all people were accounted for, all 11 crew members.
So confirmation, all crew safe on American Magic. But my word, what the heck went on?
Okay, so what went on there is they were approaching the top mark and they got a big left shift, increase in pressure. And you could hear the elevated voices coming into that manoeuvre. They decided to attack into a barroway. That was the manoeuvre that Ben Ainslie was doing in the previous race. That's possible and it's fine to do in 16 knots of breeze, but if that pressure was above 20 knots, that's a tough manoeuvre, and you know, it's end result is a capsize. It's a disaster for the team.
Just when you think they are going to get their first win in this Prada Cup, quite simply disaster for American Magic, and it literally hands the win to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
Win there, so
Luna Rossa
Where's
just
the bottom
cruising
there?
here at the moment, making
you
sure
said
they don't
it
tip
there,
it
Jill,
over
up
as
on
well.
the right, yeah? But we've got to go through that gate anyway.
This is the umpires. USA has retired. USA has retired. The race is awarded to Italy.
Race is
Either
over.
way, we just go.
So confirmation, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will get their
boys.
second win of this Prada
What a
Cup
crazy race.
Challenger Series.
I think the finish line is this one, straight
Just
ahead.
when you thought you'd seen it all, Stephen and Nathan, this we knew this was going to be crazy, but we had no idea what the
Thanks, Pietro.
definition of crazy really was, did we?
That quite simply is a heart-stopping moment. You are in supposed control of the race. You need this win for your team and your organisation. And then that happens. A capsize.
Well, it's not good, not good at all. And I'm sure we'll be having a replay here in a second to have a look at what actually happened.
So, American Magic, capsize and retire. And this is how it unfolded.
Okay, so I started seeing the bottom of the jib flapping there, and all of a sudden you see a little foam on the water, a little spray coming off the water. It's like, oh boy, this looks really windy right now all of a sudden. And see that spray blowing away really hard, really fast? But Nathan's look at everything's luffing, everything's flooding. Oh, the lured running backstay.
Still on.
The lured running backstay stays on, and it's hooked up against the mainsail, and they can't let that mainsail out. The lured runner is still tight. The lured runner never got released.
No rush. It's tough time.
You see the main looks like it's pinned on, so it's hard up against that lured runner. The lured runner is the thing that keeps the rig in check, and the thing we keep talking about, Luna Rossa want to get rid of them.
It's that dark water coming across right there. They're in pressure. Elevated noise on board. You could hear it in Dean's voice.
Turning down at 3.
You can hear it.
1, turning down now.
The lured runner looks like it didn't release, and oh my God, the boat turned sideways.
So essentially an inability to release pressure on the mainsail and say, pop, you're over.
Sure is what it looked like to me. Nathan and I both picked it up. The mainsail was kind of big curvature right around that shroud that goes towards the top of the mast.
But the big question I have is, as they're approaching that mark, the easier, safer maneuver would be to bear away and jibe. Instead, they did the hard maneuver, and I think I heard Paul Goodison say, this is going to be a difficult maneuver, guys. You know, the tack into a bear away. What you would do if you had a bit more time is attack, extend, and then bear away. Here we go, see them bring it up. So, once again, that's the voice of Paul
Goodison's
Goodison.
trying to talk him out of it. He's trying to talk him out of it.
The other thing was is that Dean Barker stayed on the leeward side of the boat. So he's bearing away on the leeward side. He can't see how much pressure there is. He's not looking up at the mainsail to see it stuck on the runner. Had Dean been on the windward side next to Paul Goodison, he might have had a chance to see the wind was stronger than he thought. He might have seen the main on the runner, and he might have aborted that bailout.
Drama on the Waitemata Harbour to complete round robin number 2 and race 3, and the win goes to Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli after a capsize from American Magic. And Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli take their 2nd point in the Prada Cup Challenger Series.